What do you think changed? Why do you think he's coming out against this now? And have you spoken to the president and Elon since the infamous tweet?
Well, I'll tell you, I called Elon last night and he didn't answer, but I hope to talk to him today. I mean, it's not, it's very friendly and we've laughed about our differences on policy before. I'm not upset about this, and I think he understands, and he's acknowledged to me before, that this is so serious that we can't fool around with it. I mean, the debt cliff is approaching very quickly, right? All the things that are in this bill are so important for the U.S. economy. It's going to be jet fuel for the U.S. economy. All boats are going to rise. And the sooner we do that, the better. And the risk of not getting it done is enormous, not just for the Republican Party, but for the country. We got to do this. We're going to have the largest tax increase in U.S. history at the end of the year if we fail, and all the other calamities that we've talked about. So we've got to get it done, and I think Elon understands the weight of that, and I hope he comes around. I'd love to talk to him this week, and I hope he calls him back today. I talk to President Trump, all the time, multiple times a day. Obviously, we've talked about this. As you know, he's not delighted that Elon did a 180 on that. But look, I don't know what happened in 24 hours. Everybody can draw their own conclusions about that, okay? But I look forward to talking to my friend about it again, and I'm not upset about it, all right? Yeah. Olivia.
EV mandates, when you were talking about Musk previously, is that what you think is his motivation for opposing the bill?
Manu brought up EV mandates, not me, okay? And I said that everybody can draw their own conclusions about that. Look, I don't subscribe motive to anybody. I try not to do that. It's a good way to live. I just believe that we got to do the right thing by way of policy, and I hope everybody understands. They might not think the bill is perfect in some respect. I mean, a bill that's 1,100 pages long and covers every area of policy and the budget that ours does. Very few people are going to say that's a perfect piece of legislation. But I hope everybody will evaluate that in both parties and everybody and recognize, wow, the benefits of this far outweigh anything that I don't like about it. And that's why we're excited about it. And I hope our mood is not dampened next time we're together, because we're going to celebrate this thing, getting it over the line by July 4th.
Are you concerned about what Elon said on this bill?
I think he has some of the same skepticism I have towards adding so much debt. This is a debate over whether or not a country can have $36 trillion in debt, whether we can have interest payments over $1 trillion. I think it's an important debate to have. I don't make it personal at all. I like the president, supported the president. In fact, I'm for the tax cuts. I am for a lot of the bill. But I can't, in good conscience, give up every principle that I stand for and every principle that I was elected upon, and that's that we can't accumulate more debt. $2 trillion in debt this year is too much. If you're going to borrow $5 trillion, it means they're going to get to that limit within the next year or two. They're planning on spending $5 trillion they don't have, and I'm just not for that. But there is a way around all of this. They could get my vote, and I could vote for the package if they take out the debt ceiling and vote on that separately.
Senator, he says that you don't understand the bill and that you love to vote no.
Well, I would say that's not actually true. I would say that I've been pretty consistent in my time in the Senate at being opposed to deficit spending. Our country brings in about $5 trillion in revenue and spends $7 trillion. I'm not for that. I've never been that from the very beginning. I've been consistent about it. I pointed it out when we had Republican presidents and we have Democrat presidents. So really there is no change in this and has nothing to do with wanting to vote no. In fact, I'm giving them an opportunity to vote yes.
What do you say about
I would vote for it for most bills, perfect or imperfect, that don't include the debt ceiling on. All I've said is strip off the debt ceiling. The debt ceiling is a day of shame when the people for big government come down to the well of the Senate or the House and they vote for the debt because they're the ones who vote for the spending. I don't vote for the spending. I want less spending. I want less debt, and I'm not going to vote to expand it $5 trillion.
If the big beautiful bill comes out in its current form, the House passed version in the Senate, would it fail?
I think it's close. There are 3 or 4 of us who are very concerned about the spending and the debt ceiling.
The House Speaker has said that this doesn't add to the deficit. CBO says that it does. What do he and the President must understand about this bill?
There is some confusion over exactly what we're talking about. In the bill, the tax cuts are scored by the CBO as adding to the debt. I actually don't accept that. I am fine with the tax cuts. I think the tax cuts will pay for themselves, and in many ways the tax cuts have already been instituted. So I accept those arguments. The reason why the debt is going to increase and why the bill allows the debt to increase is that it increases the debt ceiling $5 trillion. It's the largest increase in the debt ceiling ever, and they will say, well, it doesn't spend any money. It's not really adding to the debt. They will get to their $5 trillion limit. The question is sooner or later. But we're giving them the ability to borrow $5 trillion more. I'm not for borrowing $5 trillion more. I'm for borrowing a smaller amount over a shorter period of time.
We elected a president. We did. We didn't elect Elon Musk. Now, I've got all the respect in the world for Elon and everything, and I don't really know of the disagreement that the president and Elon may have had. And Elon did great work. We should be respectful of that and everything. And did it for nothing, which is really admirable. But when it all boils down to it, I stand with the president. And that's all there is to it. I think he'll make the right decisions and he'll move us forward, and I stand right with him.
Do you think Elon Musk is now dividing Republicans, kind of getting in the way of this bill?
Well, Elon is a powerful man and a good man and a super, super, super smart man. And anybody that's, voicing opinions and so on and such as that, people are going to listen and they're going to be concerned. I mean, it's just natural and everything. I hope at the end of the day, the differences, whatever they may have, they'll come together and we'll move forward.
There are several Republicans who agree with Elon. It may not be a huge group, but there are some that say he's right, that the spending cuts are not enough, that the deficit is going to grow if the bill becomes law. Do you think that there's a point there? Do you think there should be more spending cuts?
I think this too. I think, you walk before you run. And to just walk in out of the clear blue nowhere and just whack everything right to the bone and genuinely hurt people, that's not the answer, guys. It's just not the answer.
I share his concerns that there's not enough cuts in the bill, and so I intend to support some further reductions.
Do you think what he had to say will sway some of your colleagues that may be on the fence about this?
No, I think that those of us who share his concerns that there are inadequate reductions in the bill knew that before Elon Musk said that. Those who disagree with him disagreed before he said that. So I don't think it changed any views in the Republican Party in the Senate.
We obviously respect everything that Elon did with Doge. On this particular issue, we have a difference of opinion. And I think it's rooted in the fact that he's accepting the CBO assumptions that are built upon a static scoring assessment of the effect, the macroeconomic effect, growth effect, that these changes will have on our economy. And all the modeling that we've seen suggests that the changes that are being made in the tax policy, particularly making permanent bonus depreciation, interest deductibility, R&D expensing, are going to lead to significant growth. And you couple the growth with the biggest spending reduction in American history, and you will see a reduction, not an increase in the deficit. So we have a difference of opinion. He's entitled to that opinion. We're going to proceed full speed ahead.
Well, he's right about the bill. It's going to add hundreds of billions of dollars to the deficit in the next few years.
Do you wish he did this before the House passed it?
No, I mean, he trusted them, and I think his trust was misplaced, and so I think he has a right to be upset with our leadership.
Why do you think he's doing this now that he's left his role in the government, though?
It may be why he left his role in the government. I mean, he started to figure out these guys aren't serious about cutting spending. They never were. I mean, when they stood up at the State of the Union and clapped when the president announced all the waste that Doge had found that they were going to cut, it was kind of surreal because these are the same guys who were clapping that funded all of that waste. Like, it's their job to not waste the money.